Howdy, y'all, and welcome back into One Piece Chapter 1170 Chapter Predictions. Not too sure when this chapter will drop because there is a WSJ break, but at the same time, those leakers, those pesky leakers, they do tend to get the chapter to us a little bit ahead of time. So with that being said, I'm gonna just go ahead and throw this video out early, and how this works, just in case this is your first time here, is that I like to throw up this little bingo format and just take a couple of stabs at the chapter. But before we make our predictions on chapter 1170, I always think it's fun to go back and see how many we got correct from the previous chapter. So to kick things off, we have Zonin's first prediction, and he said that the flashback would be 100% over, which is pretty crazy to me, right? When he said that, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, yo, how is that even possible? There's so much left to cover, and even with 1169, I still think we have some decent ground to make way over. So no, this did not end up happening. Next up, he thought that a God Knight would arrive, specifically Shamrock, but we generalized it to God Knights. Did not happen. I do think this could happen in the future, like maybe after King Harold goes down, they show up, but it did not happen last chapter. Next up, he said that Yarl would get stabbed. That was correct. We saw how Yarl got that blade lodged in his head. Next up, he said that Harold would get fully Domi reversied. It's weird because he did get turned. He's being mind controlled as we speak, but technically it's not Domi reversey, right? He didn't get the fangs, he didn't get the wings, he didn't get the trident. No, this is King Harold, but just evil. It's kind of like he got the Majin mark out of Dragon Ball Z, right? That's essentially what's happening to him, which, Majin Mark of the Abyss. You know, there are a lot of good parallels there. Anyways, so next up, we got the Elba fruit reveal from the comment section, and this did not exactly happen. You could say we're in the room where it's at, but we didn't actually get to see it. So now onto the blue, which are my predictions. I thought that somebody else would arrive to the castle. Of course, Shanks and Scopper did show up, but they weren't exactly who I was thinking of. Right? I was going parallel to Zonin where it's like, oh, not the God Knights, but just somebody else entirely. And I did not include Shanks and Scopper on this list in my mind. So even though this technically happened, I'm not going to count it. I like to be strict sometimes when it comes to these predictions. So no, not there whatsoever. Next up, I thought we'd get advanced Conqueror's Haki from Loki, because we do know that is one of the ways to take down these immortal opponents. But also didn't happen. You know, I do think we will see advanced Conqueror's Haki from Loki next chapter in 1170, but did not happen in 69 though. Next, I thought that Yarl would look really cool, because here's the thing. Yarl current day is standing his ground. Domi Reversey Giants are making their way to the village. Emu Gungo is here. The God Knights are here. Yarl said, warriors never run. I thought that we would get a Yarl upscale in this chapter. Like, oh, maybe he clashes with King Harold. You know, maybe he just pushes him down a little bit, which you could argue that him and Loki did pin him down for a little bit, but Harold was also fighting back, and then Yarl, right after that, got stabbed. But yeah, I don't think he looked cool personally. This is more subjective. Maybe there's somebody out there who's like, oh, Yarl looks amazing. But it's like, for me, he was very middle of the road, right? It's just more Yarl. Next, I thought we could get some Loki eye powers, because eventually we will get that, I think. But here in this chapter, no. I think this, out of every bingo sheet we've ever done, is the worst. Like, at least for most bingo sheets, we get 2 out of 9, 3 out of 9. I think the most we got is 4 out of 9. But here, I think this was our worst prediction sheet to date, which is fun, you know, because this does set a record. Like, we can never go 0 out of 9. At least we got 1. That is the thing I'm going to dial back on. So, on to my predictions for 1170. Now it's getting fun. My first prediction is that we will get that damn devil fruit reveal. I know. Kind of lazy, mainly because, you know, everybody's expecting it. But I can't go 0 out of 9, guys. I need at least one easy one. Devil fruit reveal. Give it to us, Oda. You know, I think it's about time. I cannot imagine how Oda could possibly stall out on giving it to us. We're gonna have to open that chest. Loki is down there. Even if Ragnar is the best defender in the verse, there's no way they can stop Loki from opening that chest. So yeah, Devil Fruit reveal I think is imminent, and I would count this even if Ragnar has the Devil Fruit, right? Because that is a theory out there, right? That Ragnar ate the legendary fruit. Even if that is the case, I'd consider this a reveal. So next up, this one is going to be a little bit odder, but I do think that Ragnir can fully talk. In this last chapter, we saw that it was making these sound effects. TCB, the way they translated it, made it sound like a sound effect, but in reality, I think it's more of a laugh, especially the way Oda framed it, like the gee 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 or ga ga ga. Like, I do think it can actually talk. And next chapter, I wouldn't be shocked if it's memeing. I think Ragnir is going to be a really goofy guy. And you might be saying, Sai, why do you think he's goofy? I think it's mainly because it has to balance out Loki. Like, Loki is so serious, he's so dastardly, that I think it would just be very One Piece if Ragnir was the complete opposite, where it's just cracking jokes, it's laughing and stuff. Yeah, I think Ragnir is going to be a hoot and a holler. So, next up, this is going to be a fun one, but I think we could get a genuine Shanks named attack. Because you gotta admit, the situation that's happening right now in the treasure room between Loki, Ragnar, and that devil fruit, I don't think it's going to be quick. I think that'll take at least half a chapter to just, get over. So Shanks and Scopper, they're gonna have to stall Harold for quite some time, mainly because he can regenerate. So I do think that Shanks will have to shout a little bit, same with Scopper, and maybe here we get one of Shanks's first named attacks minus Divine Departure. Divine Departure, yes, Shanks named attack, but that was technically Roger's beforehand. But yes, I do think we will get a OG Shanks attack right here. And I'm all for it, brother. Give us the Shanks hype. All right, so for this next one, I think that Emu will get curious. Yeah, that's right. I bet Emu can sense that King Harold is getting pushed back. I mean, hell, the Mark of the Abyss stems from Emu. It's their powers at the end of the day. So I wouldn't be shocked if Emu is like, man, my powers are being siphoned. Like, dude, who the hell is regenerating so much right now? It's got to be King Harold. Maybe I should send Shamrock or Sommers that way to see what the heck is going on. I think that would be pretty cool if we do get some God Knight action here. Of course, with the latest chapter, they kind of revealed who closed the doors, like who's actually doing all these shenanigans. So it's like, yeah, like it's King Harold. At the end of the day, King Harold told the guards outside to lock the doors, mystery solved. But now it's like, okay, outside of that, how do we explain the claw marks in the throne room? Is that from Loki's devil fruit? Is that from Ragnir? Maybe it's from Shanks' named attack. We don't really know. So I do think that there is still a small but okay possibility that the God Knights do show up. Maybe after King Harold goes down, they show up just to see what the heck is happening, right? Because at some point, surely Emu would get curious and say, hey, we just lost a God Knight. Can you guys go check that out? And plus, there is the Mark of the Abyss in the throne room. So realistically, they could snap their fingers and teleport to Elbaf at a whim. So I wouldn't be shocked if Emu starts sending God Knights to assist King Harold or just to get the 411 on Elbaf. So now, for my fifth prediction, I think we will get a Rox D. Zebek mention. I'm so torn. I don't know if the King Harold fight will be solved next chapter, mainly because I do think the Loki thing will take up a good chunk of it. Like, oh, Loki Ragnar, Loki Devil Fruit. And then, of course, when he comes back, I don't think he's just going to one-shot King Harold. But if he does, if we solve the whole King Harold fight next chapter, and Harold is, flat on his back, dying, disintegrating, turning into a skeleton like Saturn, maybe he does reminisce on Roxy Zebek. And somebody tagged me on Twitter, I think. Forgive me, it's been like a couple of days. But somebody was like, oh, Sai, like, what if in Harold's final moments, he reminisces and he's like, ah, man, I should have joined Roxy Zebek. And it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, I like that idea. And now, for my sixth prediction, this is going to get a little bit wacky. We have no real indicators that this actually will happen at all. At least for these other things, it's like, okay, yeah, I could see that, I could see that, I could see that. This one, out of left field. I do think we will get another named weapon of Elbaf. You might be saying, Sai, what? Huh? Another named weapon? We just got Ragnir, dude. The devil fruit's right there. Yes, I got it. But for me, I wouldn't be shocked if in that treasure room, alongside Ragnir, there's another weapon. Maybe a spear, maybe a sword, a shield, just something else there that does matter. And the reason I say this is because it goes back to all the depictions of Sun God Nika we've had so far, during Who's Who's little slavery montage, he gave us the first real silhouette of Nika, and he had a sword and a spear, and it's like, okay, we don't know what the hell that is, right? Luffy obviously does not wield either one of those. When he transforms, he doesn't get either one of those. So it's like, oh, maybe Sun God Nika's weapons exist in Elbaf, in the treasure room. I mean, hell, Elbaf worships Sun God Nika. Maybe they have his weaponry in here. So that would be pretty cool. And outside of that, the second depiction of Sun God Nika was during the mural segment, right? So in the mural, we saw that Sun God Nika had a sword and a shield. So it's like, shoot, dude, maybe that's also down here. And then, of course, when it comes to the giant in the mural, that giant that should be Loki of current day or Loki from the Void Century, yada yada, either one, that giant doesn't have Ragnar. It doesn't have a hammer. It has a spear. So it's like, yo, like, I wouldn't be shocked if one of those legendary weapons was right here alongside Ragnar. It's either here or it's up in the Heaven Realm, but if I had to put money down, I'd say here would be a pretty cool bet. And when it comes to weapons as well, if Loki just fully uses Ragnar, that is his end game weapon, then I would love if his brother Hyrutin, who is nowhere close to Loki's strength right now, gets a weapon of his own. I hope Hyrutin gets something sentimental or meaningful from Elbaf's castle. So I kind of hope he does get a spear or just a sword, just something big, brother. So yeah, give us another named weapon and we'll call it a day. So now, on to the 3 predictions from the comment section. The first one we have, it's a long-winded one. I'm not going to read all of it. You can read it right here if you want. But essentially, it boils down to Ragnar sucking hockey. And this is something I do agree with. And it kind of goes back to when Scopper was telling the group how to beat the Holy Knights. He's like, hey guys, they're not truly immortal. They can be defeated. It's all about Conqueror's hockey and how you... And Loki was like, oh, yes, Scopper. You know, I couldn't put it into words before, but now I know how to do it. And it's like, wait, what does that even mean? You're telling me that Loki beat an immortal person without truly understanding what was going down? Maybe it was Ragnar performing all of the work, or the Devil Fruit doing all of the work. And it could be very reminiscent of Enma, and how Enma was draining Zoro of his hockey, right? It was all going into the sword. Maybe Ragnar does the same thing. Loki picks it up, and then boom, all of his hockey's there. I think Ragnar sucking it could be pretty dang awesome. On to the second one. This is pretty general. I think it very much so ties into the previous one, but it says that we could get around immortality. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty shoo-in, right? We're going to beat Herald here. Herald does die. So getting around immortality, I think this is a given. And we could almost view this as just beating Herald in general, which maybe we just put that in here, right? Let's just put defeats Herald. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm taking your comment and I'm just kind of like, you know, altering it a little bit. Defeating Herald dash immort. Let's put immort for immortality because I don't think that's going to fit. So yes, I do think that we will find ways around it. Maybe Scopper and Shanks, while they're fighting him and stalling him, maybe they get like a small inkling. They're like, hey, that last attack, Scopper, actually worked quite well. Maybe we should use more Conqueror's hockey before Loki shows up. I think that'd be pretty damn sick. So now for the last one, Galore Giants. And this could be in line with the whole Roxy Zebek mention. Maybe while King Herald is going down, he mentions the Galore Giants, like, hey, Loki, I'm dying any minute now. You should seek out the Galore Giants. Now that you have that fruit, you can commandeer those guys. Or maybe, if Ragnar can fully talk, maybe Ragnar tells Loki about it, saying, hey, the last person who wielded me was actually a shipwright. And then Loki's like, oh, is it the Galore? And the Hammer's like, yes, that is correct. I think that could be quite dang possible. So now, going back through this list, we're going to add in some arbitrary numbers. Devil Fruit reveal. I think this is 100%. I mean, there's genuinely no way Oda can just stall out and not give this to us. So yeah, I'm going to give this a 100 right there. Ragnar can fully talk. I'm very, very, very confident in this. I'm going to give this a 95%. I'm not 100% there, mainly because I'm scared that the Hammer's just going to be laughing. Like how it was last chapter, like, gah, 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 gah. Like, maybe that's all it can do, but I'd put money down saying that it could talk. And the reason why we haven't seen it talk recently is because maybe it was chained up in sea stone and that like really affects it. But yeah, I think it can fully I don't know. It hasn't talked recently. Damn it. Yeah, it hasn't talked current day. But the sea stone, maybe that's it. Okay, I'm gonna go down to 80. I'm gonna go down to 80. I'm talking myself off the cliff. Okay. Shanks named attack. Ooh. Shanks, I mean, we know he's fighting. That's the thing. We know he's fighting. 70%. 70% right there. Wow, I didn't realize how big I made the font and the text here. So now I have nowhere to put these numbers. Let's just put it really small right there. Yeah. So small, my Asian eyes can't see it. Emu will get curious. I'm going to go with 60%. Yeah, I'm not as confident in these predictions as I was the last one. Roxy Zebek mention. Ooh, this really stems on us beating Harold. 50%. Yeah, 50%. Like, I just don't know if we're going to get Harold to that point right away. Another named weapon. 40%. I'm going lower and lower. You know, we started at 100, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40. Yeah. It's just down from here, man. Ragnar sucking hockey. I think this is going to be high. I'd give this 75%. Yeah, 75%. We have to explain the Loki line somehow. I think this is the best way. Defeating Harold - getting around immortality. I'd say 50%. The pacing in One Piece has been picking up a lot, so this isn't out of the realm of possibility. So I'd say 50%. Galley Law Giant mention. I'm actually low on this one. You know, like, when I'm on my deathbed, if I was Harold, I don't know if I'd mention Galley Law. I'd probably mention Hyrodin first and then Galley Law. The only way I can see this truly happening is if the hammer says it. But again, you know, the hammer talking isn't a given thing yet, so it's like, dude, I don't know. This might be the lowest at 30%. Yeah, I'm gonna go low on that one, 30%. But here we have it, guys. These are my predictions for chapter 1170. And as you can tell, I'm not that confident in this, man. And the other ones, you know, even though I get them wrong, I'm pretty confident. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I could see this happening. Yeah, this is a given, right? But here, I'm like, I don't know, brother. I don't know. But yeah, let me know your guys' predictions down below. Stay tuned. Spoilers should be dropping in the next couple of days, I think. If they do drop, we'll be back. But if they don't, Merry Christmas, y'all. And have a happy New Year. Peace out, guys.